What should I do, Sheikh, if my spouse isn't praying Salah?
Alhamdulillah, Ya Rabbil Alameen. The Salah is a absolutely crucial aspect of the life of a believer in uplifting the spirit, in purifying our overall outlook in terms of creating a God-focused, God-centered life in this world and in preparation for the life that comes afterwards, inshallah. What does one do if one's spouse is not praying? There are several things that you can try and do. First and foremost is to try and make dua to Allah, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala softens your spouse's heart in drawing them closer towards godliness, towards prayer, towards salah. Also is, as a second thing, is your own salah. Look at how your salah actually, what does it bring out from your character and your personality? For example, someone's praying, but when they pray, you know, how involved are they? What are they getting out of it? I'll give an example of this, inshallah, perhaps later on in this answer. That in short, someone who's actually emotionally involved in it and uplifted in it and through it, then they are, without even speaking, they are speaking to their spouse of what their spouse should consider they could also get out of the salah. Because in effect, you're then answering that question, which is, why do I need to pray? Well, one reason is because Allah has told us to. But the other reason is what we get out of it. And your lived life becomes a non-verbal answer to that very question. What do you get out of it? This is what I get out of it. So that's secondly. Thirdly, it's obviously you might want to have a conversation and make it also a family bonding moment to pray in Jamaat, to pray together. The other point to be considered, fourthly, is that consider the reason why they're not praying. This might not be your scenario, brother or sister, but sometimes our spouses don't actually, you weren't practicing observant when you began, your marital life, and now one of you has begun practicing. Consider some of the things that sometimes, for example, number one, that you might actually find that your spouse might be, Allah forbid, resentful of the deen because he feels that he's losing you through your kind of getting immersed in the deen. So make sure that's not happening. Or she feels she's losing you because you're so always in the mosque, for example. So try and address those points. Check yourself in that respect. Similarly, also consider, maybe they don't know how to pray properly and they feel like a bit out of, out in deep waters. Yeah, sorry?
They're a bit shy.
Yeah, they're a bit shy, or they don't want to get shown up. It's like, you seem to know what you're doing. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I remember even kind of bumping into one of the guys who now is a regular at Taraweeh in our local. And I think he caught me on the train. I was exhausted. I dozed off, whatever. And he tapped me on the knee and said, it's time to break the fast. So I obviously just broke my fast at that point. And then as I was going, I didn't know whether he's Muslim at that point or not. So I asked him as we were getting off the same stop, and he said, yes, he was a Muslim. And I said, oh, brother, we have prayers locally. And he said, yes, I know, because my wife is in that circle, but I haven't come yet. And the bottom line was, when I asked him years later, how did that all happen? He said, one of the things that held me back is, he said, I didn't know how to pray Taraweeh. Right? And he said, that was what kept me back.
Right.
So sometimes you have to look at the specifics of your scenarios, and then also try and see what sort of friends you have as family friends. Someone who he might like, who also prays, birds of a feather flock together. It rubs off, inshallah.
Very true, very true. So I know there's a statement of Umar ibn al-Khattab where he says that the difference between a believer and or kufr and iman and belief is the salah. Is that for one who isn't praying, or is that for the one who's rejected the salah?
So yeah, the statement is actually a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. It says, العهد الذي بيننا وبينهم الصلاة. وإن بين الرجل وبين الشرك الكفر ترك الصلاة. The difference between a person and leaving going out of that fold is the prayer itself. Scholars discuss this. Some of them said it refers to actually someone who is either denying the mandatory nature of the devotional prayers, the ritual prayers, the salawat. And that's the position of the Hanafiya, the Malikiyya, and the Shafi'iyya, according to their Mu'tamad, their official position. Others, and their minority, said actually, from the actual madhahib, they say that actually, no, it refers to actual, but with certain conditions and provisos, etc., and leaving it in totality, etc., no prayers at all in one's life. But those other scholars also, another view with respect to those who say it doesn't take you outside the fold, says we're referring to a lesser form of shirk and kufr. But all the scholars agree, all the Muslims agree on the importance of prayer and how this is something which is literally the link between us and our Maker. And Allah says in the Quran, فَوَيْلٌ لِلْمُصَلِّينَ الَّذِينَ هُمْ عَنْ صَلَاتِهِمْ سَاهُونَ. Woe to those who kind of are neglectful of their prayers. So it's something which obviously is important. Allah says in the Quran, قَدْ أَفْلَحَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ. Indeed, successful, like out and out success, belongs to the true believer. الَّذِينَ هُمْ فِي صَلَاتِهِمْ خَاشِعُونَ. Those who are devoted and focused in their prayers. So that's a goal for a Muslim in one's life.
So to strike that balance then for the spouse of one who's not praying, obviously one should be, compassionate and gentle. But where is a line then drawn between, okay, this is something you have to do?
I don't think one can actually say to. Let me ask you something, Brother Hisham. Can you even get a teenager to do something they don't want to do?
Of course not.
So how does one think that one can get a grown adult to do something which they don't want to do? And of what value is getting someone to do something which is against their will? Is that actually an ibadah? Is that actually an act of devotion to Allah? Right? The best way, seems the only way, is through encouragement and the kind of hearts and minds sort of campaign. Allah knows best.
Allah knows best indeed.